Now, last night, the political world was rocked by the promise of the release of the much vaunted Trump tax returns. I know a lot of people have been asking for them. I've been asking for them. I want to see them. I'm curious, right? So now Rachel Maddow actually got her hands on some of the tax returns. So what did we find? Secret Russian connections, special sweetheart tax deals. Ooh, I'm giddy with anticipation. Come on. All right. So let's find out what Rachel Maddow was so hyped up about.
What I have here is a copy of Donald Trump's tax returns. We have his federal tax return for 1 year for 2005. I believe this is the only set of the president's federal taxes that reporters have ever gotten a hold of. What we have are these 2 pages, front and back, from the same 1040 form that you might have filled out when you file your taxes. And in terms of what's on here, let me give you the basics. Aside from the numbers being large, these pages are straightforward. He paid $38 million, looks like $38 million in taxes. He took a big write-down of $103 million. More on that later. If you add up the lines for income, he made more than $150 million in that year. Mazel tov. We got these pages. We got this document today from a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative journalist who's better on financial matters than almost anybody else in the business. His name is David K. Johnston. These pages turned up the other day in his mailbox. David will join us live here in just a moment. But because nobody has had the president's taxes before, we didn't know what to expect. When we showed this 2005 return to the White House to ask them if it's real, we sent this over to the White House tonight, and the White House responded basically with, yep.
What? Wait. That's it? That's it. Literally the most normal looking tax return for a rich person ever. Wait, that's your exclusive. That's what you hyped about. Oh, come on, man. Well, okay, so details, right? So Trump paid $38 million in taxes. He wrote off $100 million in losses. Okay, great. Now, what's interesting is that Trump only paid that much taxes because of the alternative minimum tax. That's a tax that he, of course, wants to get rid of. Nobody's surprised by that. There's nothing really new here, okay? You mean to tell me a rich person wants to pay less taxes? Or as little taxes he can? No, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Oh my God, man. This is a spectacular media fail. This is Al Capone's Vault 2.0. It made Rachel Maddow and MSNBC by extension look desperate and clickbaity. They found nothing. And actually, this helps Donald Trump. She did Trump a solid. Let me explain. See, showing that Donald Trump paid his taxes, well, that helps him. All the talk about Trump doesn't pay taxes, doesn't pay taxes. Well, now right-wingers can come back and say, well, look, 2005, he paid his taxes. $38 million. Look, so there's obviously going to be that effect, right? See, what you have, unfortunately, in the media, you have Democrats that are looking for the smoking gun, right? The deal with Russia, the supposed deal with Russia, that might show up on a tax return. Okay, well, if there is one, it's likely to not be in the 2005 1040 form. If one does exist, right, and definitely there could be, and I'm not discounting that idea whatsoever, but see, the effect of making so much hype over what is essentially now a big fat nothing burger is going to have a positive effect on Trump. It's going to make him look good. And it might also be a way for him to say, well, look, you didn't find anything in my 2005 taxes, so why should I release any more? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Might make it more possible for him to hide actual incriminating returns. Because now people will look at any calls to release more of these tax returns, and they'll remember Rachel Maddow, and they'll remember this hype, and they'll go, nothing. It was nothing. There's probably nothing in the other. Let's forget about it. Let's actually go on to real issues. Now, this whole thing leads to a very interesting question, though. Who actually leaked the tax returns? Oh, fascinating. Now, as she noted, investigative reporter David K. Johnston had received these returns in the mail. Now, he didn't ask for them. At least that's what David K. Johnston says. He says, well, I didn't ask for these. If I did, that would kind of be illegal. So, you know, they just showed up in my mailbox. What am I going to do? I'm going to show them to people, right? They just literally showed up in my mailbox one day. Now, that's weird. How did they get there? Well, we know that the White House has plenty of leaks. We do. People go into the media. But see, this isn't just a normal leak, because this is especially weird. Because while most of the other leaks have been essentially very damaging, this one, super helpful. And right in the middle of the Trump Care debate, and right in the middle of investigations to Donald Trump's Russian ties, and the failure of his administration, now we're getting this distraction, this diversion that actually makes him look better. Fascinating. Now, you might be getting a sense of where I'm going with this, right? And of course, I'm not the only one who thought, now wait a minute, this seems very, very convenient. What if Donald Trump leaked these perfectly normal looking tax returns? Oh, fascinating. Now, before you think, wait a minute here. Wait. Come on. You're coming up with another conspiracy theory. Why would he leak his own tax returns? Well, look, Trump's been known for leaking personal information to get media coverage for a long time, since at least the 1980s. Let me explain. The Washington Post reported during the campaign that Trump posed as a public relations man named John Miller to boost the tabloid scandal over his affair with Marla Maples and his divorce from his first wife, Ivana Trump. Fascinating. So he's done this before, right? John Miller, John Barron, his other alter ego, calling into different places, playing PR, playing spin, all trying to keep the Trump name out in the media. I mean, look, even if it's bad, any publicity is good publicity, correct? So he's not exactly shy when it comes to leaking things about himself to either get some sort of positive spin, in this case, or to distract. Now, we don't know. This is just a theory, right? But if this is true, and if he had done so, then he just played the media for fools. And Rachel Maddow walked right into this trap. This story had more hype than No Man's Sky, and nearly the same result. Fail. Not as advertised. And look, this kind of shows you too, and it goes to illustrate a bigger point of the failure of the establishment media. Also connected is why the Democrats will continue to keep losing. They focus on stuff like that's actual bullshit instead of talking about real issues. They're looking for the magic bullet to try to take Donald Trump down. There is none. There is no magic bullet. It does not exist. You know how to take Donald Trump down? You actually have to campaign to win. You actually have to share a vision. You actually have to give people something to vote for. If you want to beat Donald Trump, you have to win more voters. In places like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, where he lost votes, or I'm sorry, she lost votes. Hillary Clinton did, and he won those votes. That's what you have to do. You don't rely on clickbait scandals and personal attacks. You do what Bernie Sanders, ironically, is doing. You travel around the country and you actually start to talk to people. That's how you win. You don't win by doing the Al Capone vault. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.